Well, hello and welcome back. Well, this is a special video for one of my viewers, George. He had a question on doing either the trough system or the vertical growing tower. So I'm going to go through some of that, and this will just be based on my experience and what I've done. So may not be the same for you. So let me flip it around here and show you what I've got. Okay, first we'll start with the vertical towers. As you can see, I don't have anything growing in these right now. Several reasons. It's winter time, but I'm primarily going to be using these for herbs. So as I see it, the best advantage on these here is you can grow a lot more in a smaller space. And it just depends on what type of produce you're going to grow. The best thing that I found worked in these was growing like lettuces, chives, herbs, and the ones that you're going to be cutting and packaging up as like a mixed and selling them that way. If you try to sell them as a whole head living lettuce, they don't work that well because they tend to have a funny base to them. It'll grow sideways and then kind of curve up, so they don't look well that way to sell them as a whole produce. But for cutting and picking them, you can harvest 3-4 times. And then they're easy to plant. Now if you do build these here, you can look at some of my previous videos on how I made these, and these are the plugs. These are old ones here, but those are the ones that I've made the holes to fit this size. So look at those videos to see how I made those and what's going to work for you. The disadvantage on the vertical has always been getting enough water and having it come down and get every hole. So the water has to come down, it has to come and hit this side and this side and this side all the way down. Now when you first transplant the starters in there, I would always look at them every day for the first couple weeks to make sure the plugs were moist and the roots were getting established. Now once they get their root balls going, then there's usually no problem. But you can have settlements, and if you use an aquaponics, you'll get more solids and things like that in there. But you can look at the previous videos on how I kind of overcame those. So the current way I'm doing these are working really well, and I haven't had any problems with those. But some things like basil, I mean, it will just grow crazy and it will get huge roots in there. So you can't plant every hole for the basil like this. So I would plant like every other. I'd do like one here, there, kind of stagger them like that, up that, and that fills the whole thing up over a season. So that's they work great for those. They're fairly easy to clean. Your roots can get bound up in there, especially like basil. So those can be kind of hard to get out. So that's kind of my opinion on these, but you can see how many you can get in a small space like this, and you still have enough room to get in between the rows and harvest them. And I kind of stagger them so you get enough light and everything. So and like I said, look at some of the previous videos if you're going to build these, and if you have any questions on those, let me know. I'll try to help you with that. Now the trough systems, now these go with gutters, so they're a downspout. I think these are like 2 inches tall, 3 1/4 wide. These are easy to make. You're just staggering the holes, using the hole saw and drilling them. You know, real easy to make, and they just drain down. So, and then planting these is real easy. You know, you're just taking the transplants and just dropping them down. And same with harvesting, just pulling them out. Now all these here I sell as a living lettuce with the roots attached. So I use clamshells like these here. So the root ball sets down in there, and those close up like that. It takes a little practice to get those packaged, but I've been selling out on those, and I can't grow enough. So this whole space back here, I'm adding another section on to that. So now you can get lines here. You can get plugged up too, just like on the other ones. So you just have to have enough pressure going through those. And then I put a drip line on the end here that I'll open that up and shoot any solids out of that every once in a while. But I really haven't had any trouble with these getting backed up. But harvesting these is real easy. Just take the whole gutter, and I just take it over here and put it by the packaging and just pull them out and package them. They're very easy to clean. Doesn't take much to clean them, get ready to start again. For the living lettuce, where you're selling them whole like that, these are really the way to go for those. If you were going to be picking off and reharvesting a lettuce, these wouldn't work as well. I mean, you could, but you'd be pulling the root ball around, and it probably just wouldn't work as well. This stuff here I've just got to help keep the algae from growing in the trough. So that's kind of what I'm doing with these here. And this section back here is going to be another section that'll drain that way. And then I added some lights because it's winter time, so I'm trying to get more growth faster. But that's kind of my take on the vertical and the trough system. The base for these is real easy to make. You can frame that in. I just use, I've got these drums that I get free, so I just use those for the base. But the support system's real easy to make. And same for this here. Takes a little bit more to hook up your lines, shut off valves on each one, which you don't have to have, but I would probably do that a little bit different because that can add up to your cost. But now the other thing on the vertical towers, you can check out Bright Agrotech. They have their zip grow towers, and it's a different design, but it's the same concept. They've got a lot of good information on there. I looked at those several years ago, but they're pretty pricey, and they work a little bit different. But I think they're probably a good product. So you can look at that site and kind of compare those. But that's kind of my take. I hope that helps you. And like I said, if you have any questions or comments, just let me know, and I'll try to help you. And thanks for watching. And anybody out there wants more information, let me know, and subscribe and make comments. Thanks a lot. Bye.